Welcome to this explainer. Look, we're diving straight into a fascinating financial reality today. We're going to uncover a surprising truth. Reaching your very first six-figure savings milestone is actually much harder than becoming a millionaire. I know, it sounds totally counterintuitive, but by the time we finish this explainer, you're going to see exactly why that is and exactly how it's done. Okay, let's dive right in.
I want you to just take a second. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, you pour yourself a cup of coffee, open up your investment app on your phone, and boom, this exact six-figure number is staring right back at you, $100,000. For a lot of folks, seeing that kind of money sitting in their own account feels like a total pipe dream. And that brings up a really important question. Is saving six figures only for the wealthy? Honestly, it kind of sounds like something only a CEO or a tech founder pulls off, right? Well, we are going to challenge that misconception right away. The reality we're unpacking today is that building wealth isn't about luck. It's not about receiving some massive inheritance, and it's not even about having a huge salary. It is entirely about smart, consistent habits.
Section 1. Meet Alex, the ordinary earner.
So Alex is literally as normal as it gets. He's a 25-year-old office worker done in Texas, pulling in a completely average salary of $60,000 a year. Alex wasn't rich, but he definitely wasn't struggling to keep a roof over his head either. Yet, despite having a pretty decent steady paycheck, his money just seemed to completely vanish into thin air by the end of every single month. Let's actually look at where that money was going. His everyday paycheck drains? They were things we literally all do. Grabbing a coffee from a cafe every morning, getting food delivery maybe 3 times a week. He had multiple streaming subscriptions he barely even used, and he definitely engaged in some random online shopping just because things had a discount code. Nothing here is an extravagant luxury. We're not talking sports cars or flying first class, but combined, they left him with almost nothing in his account when the month wrapped up. Then, one day, just mindlessly scrolling online, Alex read a quote that absolutely changed his life. The first $100,000 is the hardest. After that, money begins to grow on its own. He literally couldn't get those words out of his head. This was his big light bulb moment. He realized, hey, I don't need to get rich overnight, and I don't need to win the lottery. I just need to get way better at managing my own money.
Section 2. Finding the money leaks.
So, the very next weekend, Alex sat down, printed out his bank statements, and grabbed a bright highlighter. He went line by line through his expenses, highlighting everything he didn't actually need. And he was absolutely floored. He discovered he was wasting over $800 every single month. $800, just vanishing. But instead of just sitting there feeling guilty about it, Alex formulated a plan to take the reins. He totally overhauled his daily routine. He canceled those dead subscriptions immediately, started brewing his morning coffee right in his own kitchen, packed a lunch for work just 3 days a week, and he completely cut out buying stuff just because it was on sale. You see, these were minor tweaks to his lifestyle. We are not talking about total deprivation here.
And man, the results were instant. Within just 1 month of making these tiny habit shifts, Alex was already saving almost $500. That is a massive turnaround just by plugging up the little holes in his financial bucket.
Section 3. Consistency and earning more. Okay, so how did he put that newly saved money to work? Well, he opened an investment account and set up an automatic transfer of that $500 every single payday. He didn't try to get fancy with it. He went with simple, low-cost index funds. No risky day trading, and absolutely no trying to perfectly time the market. He just committed to this steady, totally unglamorous, but highly effective routine of investing every single month.
Now, we really have to talk about the psychological hurdle here, because guys, this is where most people just throw in the towel. After the first year, Alex had around $8,000 invested, and his immediate thought was, man, this is taking forever. And it did feel slow. $8,000 is awesome, but it kind of feels like a drop in the bucket compared to $100,000. But instead of quitting when that growth felt sluggish, Alex did the single most important thing. He stayed consistent.
Realizing the math was just going to take a long time on his current salary, Alex looked for ways to step on the gas by earning more. So he picked up some side hustles. He started freelancing on the weekends. Sometimes he did food delivery, sometimes random online work. But he had one golden rule. Every single extra dollar from those side gigs went straight into his investment account. No exceptions. Thanks to that extra hustle, he quickly pushed his monthly investment contributions to over $1,200. Rain or shine, whether the stock market was up or down, that $1,200 was going right in. Section 4. The magic of compound interest.
Look, the journey to wealth really is a long grind,
But the ultimate payoff is absolutely massive. After just 1 month, he had $500 saved. After 1 year, $8,000 invested. But fast forward 5 years of relentless consistency, year after year, and he finally logged in to see his balance had crossed that magic number, $100,000. And hitting that milestone triggers something pretty incredible: compound interest. Basically, this is when your money actually starts earning its own money, sometimes growing by more than your personal deposits. For the very first time in his life, Alex's money was doing the heavy lifting for him. There were literally months where his investments grew by way more than the $1,200 he was putting in. That breakthrough right there, that is the true magic of compound interest.
So the core lesson of this whole story is this: the next $100,000 comes so much faster. That first milestone took Alex years of strict discipline, side hustling, and cutting his budget. But the second one accelerates dramatically, simply because he now has a whole army of $100,000 working for him around the clock.
So how do we actually do this ourselves? Remember, Alex didn't inherit a dime, and he didn't have a massive tech salary. He just made smart choices. Here is your blueprint, broken down into bite-sized micro-milestones so it doesn't feel quite so terrifying. Step 1. Just focus on saving and investing your very first $100. Step 2. Scale that up to your first $1,000. Step 3. Push for your first $10,000. Building wealth isn't about being financially perfect. It's honestly just about making one smart decision after another and keeping at it even when the progress feels incredibly slow.
Because I promise you, one day you're going to log into your account and you'll realize you've actually reached your first $100,000. And that is exactly when your financial future truly changes. If you enjoyed this story and want to really master your money, make sure to like this explainer, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications for more deep dives into personal finance. I'll leave you with this one final, super powerful thought. The best time to build wealth was yesterday. The second best time is today. So ask yourself right now, what is one single money leak you can plug today to kickstart your journey to your first $100,000? Thanks for watching.